say something? Okay, so I guess. Microphone is right there.
That's all right.
I can speak.
I am a guidance counselor at Fort Barton and Ranger School. I started out at the high school in 1990 and have been a member of this Tiverton school family at every level since then, including those 2 mock trial awards that hang on the wall in the auditorium. Mr. Eric, I believe, hit the nail on the head in the beginning. Tiverton needs to decide what kind of community they want to be. You're talking about problems financially in the school department. The fact is, you're only a piece of the town. We're a town. I'm seeing land that was empty now having houses built on them. Those great big 4-bedroom houses aren't being built so that retirees can buy them. They're being built so people with families can come in, because they're spending money on those houses knowing that they're going to get a first-class education for their children. And if that first-class education goes away, so don't the people who buy those houses. And you're going to have a lot of empty property here. This community is a gem. And I'm saying this, I don't live in this community. I was on a school committee in a neighboring town. I've been here for 20 years. What you need is a task force from the whole community to look at bringing business in here. Because you can't solve the problems of revenue. You know, we were talking about when you have problems with the business, what do? Well, I haven't always been in education. I have worked in business. And in the business that I was in, the first thing we did was we looked at diversifying our product and we looked at increasing our revenue. And that's what the community of Tiverton needs to do. We have a perfect opportunity. We're right on Route 24. It doesn't have to invade neighborhoods. It doesn't have to invade the beautiful spaces that we have. But we need to bring in those tax dollars to support this community. And that's the difference between Tiverton and every other community in Newport County. We don't have a Raytheon. We don't have a Newark. We don't have a Navy base. We don't have an equipment industrial park. We don't have all of those things. We don't have any of those things. Our largest taxpayer in Tiverton is Edie. That's absurd. We are a wonderful, wonderful community. I've had students that have gone on to Harvard, Brown, MIT. They're working for Apple Computer out in California. They've gone to every military academy that you can think of. And now I have the privilege of working with the elementary school children of their parents were my students here at the high school. And they are the business people in town. They're the small business people. And you know, whenever anybody I know asks me do you know someone who can do whatever for me? As a matter of fact, we just drove by one of those small businesses tonight. I say absolutely. I hand them a card of my former students. My former students are all over this community, and they're sending their children back into Tiverton to the schools. And you don't want them to have to move out. But if we don't have, not only if the schools deteriorate, but if we don't start bringing some businesses in where these people can work, we are going to lose them. And we don't want to do that. So, you know, for what it's worth, my recommendation is sit down with your town council, with the budget committee, everything else, and stop having these. You're not going to be saved from the top down. We're not going to be saved by federal dollars or state dollars. We've got to save ourselves. Every community does in this environment. And we don't want to do that. So, you know, for what it's worth, my recommendation is sit down with your town council, with the budget committee, everything else, and stop having these. You're not going to be saved from the top down. We're not going to be saved by federal dollars or state dollars. We've got to save ourselves. Every community does in this environment. and we need to pull together as one community and not as different departments. And we need to look at how can we bring business, good, solid business that we will be proud to house in Tiverton. How can we bring them into this community to raise our tax base? Because we don't want to dismantle what we have. We want to make it better, but we have to put a good, solid foundation under it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Just to address that, I'd like to say that I went Monday night to the town council. There was a developer there that was coming in to try to put a market in, and he had to have a connection to the sewer, and that's how we do it. You show up at those meetings, you testify for those people, you support them. At economic development, you go there, you go to wastewater when they're talking about it, you show up at everything to shepherd these people through that are trying to come in with these good things, and that's what we've been doing, because we know it's a whole community. And I said, two things I know this town wants: smart growth and smart spending. And that's what I said, and that's why we try to do that as a committee and show up with these things. Thank you.
Just 1 second, there. Just one comment. Property values versus high school. I'm absolutely for public schools. I have 3 kids here, and I voted with my kids for public schools, so no one is going to tell me that I'm against schools. That's obvious. But we have to be honest. What's going to happen if you take your house, living in Tiverton, and you move it to Little Compton, 5 miles south? What's going to happen to the value of the house? It's going to double. Do they have a high school? No. So the argument about the high school is not an argument if we don't have high school, then the property values are going to go down. Some people wrote to me and said, well, what's going to happen? What kind of company is going to move to Tiverton if there is no high school? Or what kind of company? Your argument is absolutely correct. We have no tax base because we scare all these companies. No matter how friendly they are, we don't have a supermarket here. So if we cannot have a supermarket, what else do we want? What are we talking about? So if we do this, then this argument is not valid either, because no one is going to come here, because no matter what they do, we will send them away. But that's not our side of the business. We have to take care of all the schools the best we can within the financial constraints which are imposed on us. We cannot change the tax base. We, as individual citizens, we can go and speak in front of different committees all the time, but that's not where those decisions are made here. We have to live within the circumstances which are created for us. So if someone wants to use a piece of land and put 100 houses, and each one of these houses is going to have 3 children, we love children, but this is going to create additional need on our side, and no new revenue is going to come. So these problems have to be dealt with in what we do. And these are not, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking looking at all the solutions which are in front of us. It's even more heartbreaking and scary to look into the next couple or 3 years, because we kind of live this, and we go and we try to go to all these presentations where people at the state level are telling us what to expect in a year, 2, 3, 4, and it is not pretty.